All right, I have some news to share with you. Your budget instrument that you paid next to nothing for, with all these modifications done to it, is still a budget instrument no matter what you do to it. Stick around, we're going to dive into the reasons why, starting right now. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Chris and you were watching the 11th Fret. Thank you guys so much for coming on back. Today I'm in the final stages of editing my next video and something came up that I felt needed to take precedence. Something I could throw together really quick, and so I thought I would just do that. And that is that your cheap budget instrument will always be a cheap budget instrument. Now, this has come up a lot. It really has. It's a topic I've thrown on my notes for some time. It's something I've tried to find the appropriate way to articulate my thoughts on and just could never seem to find the right language to share with all of you guys that could be easily understood. But it came up again yesterday and I thought, you know what? It's high time I do this video, so let's just pause what I'm doing. Let's jump on this one. It's easy. Let's get going. With that in mind, again, your budget instrument will always be a budget instrument, no matter what you do. What does that even mean, right? Let's start off with Squier Affinity Series Stratocasters. They're great guitars. Not many people can say a terrible thing about them. I mean, sure, the wood quality might not be up to snuff. They're not going to be something you're going to want to do like a clear stain on or anything like that because it's just not going to come out looking as beautiful as it possibly could. But they're great instruments. They really are. They sound great. They play great. No one really has anything bad to say about them. Sure, you could do some modifications to them to make them better for your liking, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, it will always be a Squier Affinity Series Stratocaster. Will it not? Let me know in the comments if you have a different thought on the matter, because realistically everybody's got their own beliefs and has their own experiences, so it's highly possible that in your neck of the woods within the country or the world, doing modifications to a Squier Affinity Series might increase its value. But what I'm telling you today is more often than not it won't do hardly a thing to its value. What does that even mean? So you might not like the sound of the pickups. I'm not saying that the pickups that come in a Squier Affinity Series Strat are bad. They're not of great quality, but they're not bad either. They just might not be for you. They might not give you the sound you want, so you might change them out. You might turn it into like an HH, a humbucker Stratocaster, or a HSS, hum single single. Whatever you do to it, it's for you. You might change out the tuning machines. That's for you. You might change out the nut. That's for you. You might change out the wiring harness. That's for you. You might put a pure tone jack into it. Again, that's for you. There could be a lot of things you do to it, but here's the reality behind all of it, is that it will not, hardly at all, increase the value of the guitar. Because anybody who's shopping, yourself included, you're gonna have to be honest with yourself here. If you see a Squier Affinity Series Stratocaster with upgrades, are you motivated to buy it? No, most people aren't, because those modifications or upgrades, or we can also call them personalizations, those are specific to the owner that had it. It might not be for you. You might want a Squier Affinity Series Strat. And you also know yourself that when you go to buy a Squier Affinity Series Strat, when the time comes that you want to sell it, you might want to get the most money you can for it, and you're not going to do it because you know well and good yourself that modifications don't really increase the value of an instrument. That's just the reality. It really is. So let's take it a step further. And I want to extend an olive branch here. Mike Rutherford, the guitar player from Genesis and also Mike and the Mechanics, he recently told the press that he's been using Squier bullets on tour with him. It is Fender's most basic entry-level guitar that they offer, and he loves them. He thought they sounded great. He has his tech set them up, make sure that the frets are good, but outside of that, loves these guitars and tours them. Mike Rutherford could sell his Squier bullets for more than he paid for them because A, he's Mike Rutherford, and B, they were used on the farewell tour for Genesis. Pretty awesome. So yeah, there's going to be people who will pay more money for his Squier bullets. Now let's take a look at the Squier Affinity Series that some person did on their duvet cover in their bedroom by swapping out the pickups. No one cares. No one cares what's in it. Now, it's not going to diminish the value necessarily, but it's not really going to radically increase the value of the guitar either. You might throw like $200 worth of pickups into something and then it's only going to increase the value by $20. You're not going to get hardly anything back because of the guitar it's sitting in. Now, I also don't want to tell anybody that it's not an okay idea to upgrade your instrument or modify or personalize your instrument. That's for you to do. It should be for fun. It should be to also help you discover the sounds you're looking for and the way you want your guitar to respond to your playing. There's a lot of reasons out there as to why you might want to modify your instrument. There also may be sentimental value in that guitar that you just don't want to ever let it go, and you're just going to modify it and modify it and modify it until there's nothing left but the wood. That's entirely up to you. But don't modify a guitar for the wrong reasons. Don't modify a guitar thinking that just because you throw in X, Y, and Z parts, it's going to raise the value enormously and allow you to sell it for top dollar, because you're just not going to do it. So why did this come up? Why did this thought interrupt my next video, which is on a guitar that's actually behind me? You can't see it because I'm blocking the view. But why did this idea come up? So today I ended up buying a First Act ME506. It was just the body, no pickup. It had the hardtail bridge, it had the neck, had the tuning machines, but that's it. Pretty straightforward. I needed that neck because I had a First Act body, an ME501, that needed a neck. When I bought that ME501 originally, I did not look it over. It was like $20 or $30. It was really, really cheap. But I got it home and then I realized that the fret on the 10th fret, not the 11th, but the 10th fret just lifted right out. It was bending and it was in bad shape. Yeah, I could refret this guitar. Why not? Should I refret it? Probably. But here's the reality, is that it's still a First Act neck. I can't even give this neck away in this condition. I mean, I could throw it on OfferUp for free and maybe someone will come around and take it off my hands, but no one's gonna really wanna spend the money and the time refretting a First Act neck, because that is a job that is like $150 just to have someone do it, maybe $200, depending on the market you're in. It could be very, very costly. The materials alone can be $20, $30 just to get the frets itself. This neck is not even worth $20 in great shape. I mean, just from my experience. Online, you might see other examples out there and they're just not selling. So let's just say $40 tops is probably what this neck could fetch in okay shape. I'm not gonna get that. Not with $150 to $200 worth of fret work that needs to get done. So I bought the ME501, got it home, and I just wanted the neck off of it. So here's the body of the ME501, and this is the ME506 neck. I wanted this ME506 neck because it'll fit perfectly on this extended cutaway right here that we've got for higher reach on the fingerboard. Other First Act guitars don't have that same contouring that they have on these particular necks. So I kept my eye out and I dropped it right in. It was great. It works awesome. It feels great. I have yet to string it up because I just did this, but on the back here I got a brass plate that's being taped down because there's no strings in it. So I'm holding that in place. And it's got two humbuckers in here. I believe they are modeled after PAFs, and I remember them sounding actually really, really good. So I took them out of mine. I do have one of these for myself that I have heavily modified, which I'll show you in a moment, but this guitar is now complete. And I think I've got about maybe $60, $70 into it total. And here's the problem though, is even if I were to sell it tomorrow, I'm not gonna get barely that at all, because no one cares about these. No one cares. So I have to do my due diligence and take a break for a moment and remind you that if you like content like this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the video, and also hit that little bell notification to be notified when I upload new content, because there's always something around the corner. So as I mentioned, I have my own ME501, and this one was heavily modified by me. I put in a couple Seymour Duncan Phat Cats onto this, so I got two humbucker size P90s from Seymour Duncan. I put a brass bridge on here. I replaced the harness with CTS pots, so it's got two volumes and one tone. It's the exact configuration that First Act had to begin with. I should probably change that. Three-way toggle up here, just like a Les Paul would have. On the back here on the tuning machines, I originally replaced them with Grover Rotomatics, and I loved them on here, but I decided to swap them out to another guitar that would just hold its value way better than a First Act will. So I threw on Jinho manufactured Rotomatic copies with the tulip tuning keys on the top, and they dropped right into a Grover spot. No issues. I love them. I think they hold tune quite well. I was pretty impressed, and they were also very affordable. But let's just break down the costs that I've thrown into this. I mean, Seymour Duncan Phat Cats, a set of those, like what, 180 bucks right there? Maybe not that, but definitely 150 plus. And then we can also see the pots, 3 pots in here. CTS pots are going up in price, so let's say they're like maybe $12 or $15 worth of pots alone. The brass bridge, which is about $15 to $20. I can't remember exactly. The Rotomatic tuning machines are about $25. It costs that up. And realistically, although I've done all these modifications to this guitar, it's still gonna be worth no more than $100 on the used market through a classified site. Now, if this were hanging up in a store, maybe it'll sell for more because there will be a return policy and a store's reputation on the line. But again, it's still going to be a loss, a massive loss, because I've put in more than $200 worth of parts into this guitar. And again, I would be lucky to get $150 for it. Lucky, at least in this market. So that's this guitar, but I don't really plan on selling it. If I did, all these parts are coming out. I'm telling you right now, all these parts are coming out and gonna go somewhere else, be put into a bin until the right time, but I'm not going to let these parts disappear with this affordable instrument. But I don't plan on getting rid of it. I think this plays great, it sounds great, I love it, it's a fun guitar to play. So yeah, there's certain exceptions to the rule. Of course, there is always exceptions to the rule. If you are a known luthier or a known tech that's well respected in your community, because you touched the instrument, might add some credibility to the updates, to the build, if you will. So I want to talk about another YouTube channel for a moment who has transcended beyond the cheap barrier, and that is Guns and Guitars. Dan Thompson over there has been an influence to this channel and has since become a friend as well. When his channel started off, it was based around DIY guitar kits. How to build your dream Strat with a DIY kit, how to build your dream Les Paul with a DIY kit, how to build your dream P-Bass with a DIY kit. He did phenomenal work in that respect. And because it's Dan and he showed everybody the process of what went into these builds and the level of detail that he threw into it, he was able to sell these guitars for a nice premium. And that's awesome. Someone was out there willing to pay for it. They knew how much he threw into it. He made no secret of it. So what people were paying for was his time and his expertise. That's awesome because he's respected by the community for divulging all that information and showing the process. Same thing that goes with local guitars. If no one knows who you are, no one's gonna care. That's really what it boils down to. No one will care. So you could throw in whatever you want. You could throw in $500–600 worth of parts, which many other YouTubers have done that very thing. That's been the bait to their videos. I've thrown in $600 worth of parts into this $99 guitar. Yeah, I mean, there's things you could do, but realistically, at the end of the day, it's still going to be that cheap guitar, and you will be lucky to get a small fraction of that money back if you were to sell it. So again, I want to make sure I stress that it's totally cool to modify your instrument, to personalize it, to make it more you, to make it more exciting to play, to make you more inspired to connect with other people and write music and perform. That's awesome. That guitar is for you. There should be nothing that stops you in modifying it to make it more of your instrument. Every iconic guitar player out there, every legend has modified their instrument to make it more them. That's what made it them. Jimmy Page's Les Paul, David Gilmour's Strat, Eddie Van Halen's everything. So please don't let me hold you back, but don't do it for the wrong reasons. Don't modify an instrument to get more money out of it, because you won't. You won't. It's a dead end road. Don't do it. I promise you. You could try. And if you have great experience on the matter, please let me know in the comments below, because I'm definitely curious to know if you have great experience out there on the market in selling used budget instruments for top dollar and making a profit with premium hardware upgrades. You might have good experience. Every market is different. In Los Angeles, from my experience, all the way up to Seattle, Washington, which is where I started, it doesn't work. It really doesn't work very well. So don't do it. I appreciate you guys coming on back. Let me know in the comments below what your experiences are in selling used gear. Does it mirror what I'm talking about? Do you have the same experience? Do you have the same viewpoint on the matter as I do? Or do you share a different experience altogether? I mean, everybody walks their own journey and everybody lives in a different market. So I'm curious to know as well. Let me know in the comments below what your experiences are. Also, comment below if you have any questions about stuff like that. I am so excited to talk openly. I mean, this channel's still small, so I am always eager to chat with each and every one of you guys. All said and done, thank you guys so much for coming on back. I really appreciate you guys visiting, and I look forward to talking to you guys on the next video. Take it easy, everybody.